Hello and welcome to Series 1, Episode 1 of High Spirits with Edwin Courtenay. Now, today I'd like to bring forward a little light trance channeling for you from Saint Germain. But before I do, I want to just explain a little bit about what light trance channeling is and a little bit about who the Ascended Master Saint Germain is, and also a little bit about the nature of the channeling itself. So light trance channeling is a form of mediumship which enables the medium or channel's body to be benignly possessed by the communicating entity. Light trance means that although the entity will take control of my body and speak through me, I am conscious and present, and I have or retain the ability to be able to step forwards and take over, take charge. It has its advantages and its disadvantages. The advantages are that I get to learn from the presence, as you, the audience, get to learn from the presence by remaining conscious and being able to hear what's being said. I also get a very nice visual show clairvoyantly going on at the same time. The disadvantage is that because my consciousness is still present, it can sometimes get in the way a little bit, and it can prevent certain things from being said through me that I might have conscious or unconscious objection to or prejudice against. With deep trance channeling, the consciousness of the channel is removed completely, resides in a different plane, and the entity is free to communicate whatever it wants, even to be able to communicate in a different language, a language other to the one that the channel is native in. I've been doing light trance channeling for a long time now, and I've been working with this particular entity for a long time now, so it will be a quickish transition into the trance. You won't note much difference other than maybe the timbre of my voice might change and the syntax of my speaking rhythm might alter as well. But hopefully you'll be able to feel the vibration of the presence. Even though this is a recording, you should still be able to connect with the energy of the presence as it comes through me. That's one way of telling whether or not a trance communication is genuine. Saint Germain, the presence who I'm going to be working with, I'm just going to show you some pictures that I created of him. So these are AI generated pictures that I created of Saint Germain. I really, really like them. If anybody is interested in these images, I'm more than welcome to share them with you. Just use the contact form on my website and send me a message. The copyright of the images belongs to me, so as long as you're not planning on using them to produce a line of t-shirts or mugs, but you want them just for your own personal enjoyment, then I'm absolutely fine with that. Saint Germain is the Ascended Master of the seventh ray. Ascended Masters are a little bit like New Age saints. The seventh ray is the ray of mystery, the ray of magic and ritual, ceremony and alchemy, and also vision, which means clairvoyance. The active principle of the seventh ray is the violet flame, which you see held in his hand in some of these pictures here. It is an esoteric fire which has the ability to transmute energy into its polar opposite. So dark into light, negativity into positivity, pain into release, sadness into joy, etc., etc. It's used universally. And there's lots of information about the Ascended Master Saint Germain online that you will very easily be able to find, because he's a very popular Ascended Master, and he has his roots in Theosophy back in the 1800s, but has entered into the popular spiritual consciousness through the resurgence of the Ascended Masters in the Ascension practices in the 1980s. So let's hear from him and let's see what he's got to say. Oh, before I go on to post-it notes to remind me what to say. Although I think the message should be, to a certain degree, universal and timeless, there is an element of it which is time sensitive, in the sense that when I'm recording this, it's the 4th of March, 2024. It's a very tricky year. Here in the UK, we're about to go into a general election to potentially get a new government by the end of the year. There is the US presidential election that is happening at the end of the year as well. We have a war in Gaza. We have a war in Ukraine. There are environmental crises. There's a cost of living crisis here in the UK as well. So there's a lot of change, a lot of flux, a lot of division. And that's partly, I think, the driving energy behind Saint Germain's communication. But as I say, I think the theme is pretty universal. So hopefully whenever you listen to this, there'll be something in the message which will be of use to you. Right, I'm going to take off my glasses. This is a little bit of a device, a theatrical device. It helps me switch into a different personality. It's like Superman taking off his glasses so that he transforms from Clark Kent into the Man of Steel. It is a trick that was taught to me by Saint Germain to just help make that mental switch into becoming a different person for a short period of time. Okay. Final thing, my eyes might flick open from time to time. I'm just keeping an eye on the clock because I don't want it to run on too long. So that's me exercising a little bit of control there and giving the master a jab and telling him that it's time to wrap things up, as it were. Okay, let's see what he's got to say. I am the Master, Saint Germain, Master of the seventh ray, the ray of the Akasha, the ray of spirit, the ray of change. I am the Master of magic and alchemy, the Master of vision and prophecy. I am the Master of ritual and ceremony, and its power and nature and presence in all things. I come to you in love and peace, in truth and light, that I might share this small communication with you. We believe, the Masters and I, that it is important that humanity hears these words, that you hear these words. And maybe you may know someone else who might benefit from them too, who you can share them with in some way, shape, or form. Your world at this moment in time is in a state of crisis, but it is not beyond the reach of salvation. It is not beyond the power of transformation. It has not completely lost its way in regards to the divine plan that will lead it to a point of ascension. In order for things to change, they must go through several stages, which can be conceived from an alchemical perspective. And part of this perspective is when the component parts of the original are pulled into their ingredient separates, that they might be cleansed and rebalanced, reconstituted in a different form, a more steady form, a form that has greater equilibrium and poise, greater harmony and peace, a healed state, which is also a new state, better, higher, brighter than before. But part of the alchemical passage or journey is one of darkness. Not only a time when negativity rises to the surface in order to be extracted, boiled away, transformed, but also a stage when the elixir, when the prima materia, that which is being transmuted, turns completely black, plummets into darkness, into a chaotic despair. And that is, some might say, where you are all now. Some is, that might say, where you have been for quite some time, not only during the dark days of the pandemic, but even before then. Of course, there are stages of darkness, entering into it, moving out of it, sitting in the center of it. It is not my place to prophesy exactly what will happen next. I do not want to be the doom monger who says exactly where you are. It is important to stay in the now moment, in the present. It is important to focus on the point of light that lies ahead and to move towards it, trusting and knowing that brighter days are to come. What I am endeavoring to say is that what you are all experiencing is, in a way, part of the path, part of the plan. Although the exact ramifications, the exact details, they were not plotted by the divine. They have been devised by man. But they follow the theme, the nature of transformation itself. The divine, ever one, capable of improvising, moves the path beneath the weave that is created by man in order to endeavor to ensure as best it can that man's path stays secure and fixed. Of course, there is only so much that the divine can do, but as I said at the beginning of my communication, at this moment in time, the goal has not been lost. You have not yet derailed yourselves. There is still hope. There is still a chance. I understand that at times it might not feel like this is so. But part of that hope lies with you. It is dependent upon your everyday actions, upon your thoughts and your feelings, upon the choices that you make. And here comes the crux of my message. Unity. Everything that transpires around you seems to do so in order to pull you apart, to create separatism and diversity, difference of opinion, different beliefs, prejudices and religious understandings which create disharmony. And yet, in order to evolve, in order to transform, harmony, balance and equilibrium is what is desired. Mankind must pull together if they are to survive. Unity is key. And so, amongst this divisiveness, you must endeavor to try and find that which binds you together. Commonality. Equality. Those elements and aspects which label you as being more alike than diverse. The fact that you are all human, that you all bleed, that you all know hunger, that you all were born from a mother, that you were all born from the same divine presence, however you might clothe it or call it. The fact that you all cry, that you all need sleep, that you all know cold and heat. The truth is, You have more things that bind you together than you ever do that separate you and pull you apart. These threads of commonality, these threads of light can be focused upon, and they can be utilized in order to move into greater states of empathy and compassion. You do not have to believe the same things as another in order to feel compassion for them. You do not need to have the same motives, to walk the same path in order to be empathetic. It is important then that you try to see beyond the boundaries, beyond the divisions, that you try to see the light that burns inside each human being and recognize that light as being the same as the energy that burns inside you, a spark of the divine given manifestation on earth. If you can focus on this light, then you can transcend doubt and fear and anger and pain and hate, and you can find peace. And through that connection, you can forgive and be merciful. You can offer healing and prayer and love. You can repair that that has been broken, even that that has been destroyed, and create something new and wondrous. You can reach across the divisions of time and space, of belief and class, and you can find commonality and love and hope and your brothers and sisters, and you can work together to create a new world. This must then be done every day with the things that you think and do and say, with your responses to the news that you hear or read. Rather than closing your heart and turning away, rather than shaking your fist and shouting, rather than blaming others and choosing sides, you must try to do the opposite of these things. You must open your heart and send light and love. You must try to reach out through the darkness and pull the threads together, to stitch the whole, to mend the tapestry, to reweave the weave, to create wholeness, where at this moment in time there is only separation. I know this is difficult. I know we ask a lot of you, but it is important, and it is something that you can do no matter where you are. It is powerful, and it could potentially have great consequences for the light, for the regeneration of your world, and for the salvation of your people. All I ask is that you contemplate my words. Think about them. Meditate on them. See if you can find a truth within them that resonates within you. That is all I ask. And so with these words spoken, I leave with you my love, and for the time being, humbly, in light and truth and peace, take my leave. So that's all for now. There will be another episode for sure at the beginning of next month. There may be even an interim episode, you never know, a special edition. But the next episode that we have planned for the following month will focus on the brow center and clairvoyance. Channeling is a crown center activity. So next month, we're going to look at the brow center, and we're going to look at clairvoyance, talk a little bit about what it is, and we're going to look at some exercises to stimulate the third eye, Don't worry if you don't consider yourself to be clairvoyant, because we are all clairvoyant in our own way, and there's always some progress that we can make. So we'll look at all that when we come back together next time. For the time being, thank you for joining us. Do click and subscribe if you haven't done already, and please do let other people know that we're here. Take care, stay safe and well, and bright blessed be.